Hey y'all, welcome back to another review of Life with Chessie for the Bottom Beautiful September 3rd, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. What did y'all think? Did y'all like the episode? Okay, y'all. So first of all, I was like, you know what? After that whole scene with Thomas and Ridge, and he over here talking about what he need his family back together. He don't got nothing going for him. You know, he's not designing for anybody. Paris and him ended the engagement and all this other stuff. And Ridge just hugged him instead of just telling him the truth. Instead of telling Taylor the truth. I said, okay, they doing all this back and forth for this man, and he can't even think for himself. He can't even think for himself. Thomas over here talking about what he need. I said, y'all fully grown, what the word going on? If you see this man playing with your mama, wouldn't the thing be to say that she deserves better? Why they keep trying to push her to be with this man and they see what it is? He ended up showing Ridge He ended up showing Ridge on today's new episode a photo of him and Brooke. And it looked like they was kissing, but I'm assuming it was just a scene where he was saving her, giving her CPR and stuff like that. And he was like, I had to save her. I said, you full of crap. You full of crap. He tell these folks what they want to hear. But yeah, I was like, that whole scene just showed how much of a, how do you say it? I don't want to say puppet. I don't want to say puppet, but at the same time, he kind of a puppet. Because they shouldn't be able to tell you this and that. They should not be able to tell you that. But okay, on today's new episode, where do we start? I guess we're going to start with Thomas and Ridge. Thomas ends up telling Ridge that he needs to do right by his mama, just questioning him and stuff like that. And he kept avoiding the question. He kept avoiding his answers and stuff like that, talking about weddings and everything. I said, you don't need to be talking about nothing about no wedding. You don't need to talk about nothing about no wedding. But yeah, Thomas know about Ridge kissing Brooke, or the photo where, you know, he saved her. And he wanted to know what was going on. And that's when Ridge was like, I had to save her. I said, you full of crap. You full of crap. Brooke can't believe that Ridge still with Taylor. They was just talking. Her and Katie was just talking about him into things. And Katie was trying to explain to Brooke, you know, if he could tell you that, you know, he was wrong, why can't he do the same and go tell Taylor the same thing? Why is he with them? Why is he with them? Why is he with Taylor or whatever? Then she ends up mentioning the fact that Steffi and Tom is fully grown. They ain't kids no more, you know, because usually they be like, oh, we have kids together, so we're going to stay because our child needs both of their parents and stuff like that. Load of baloney. I say in certain situations it's a load of baloney. But yeah, it was something else. What else? Looks like they finna get ready to make Thomas crazy again. And what I tell y'all some years ago, I don't know if y'all been listening since then. I said the only time they utilize Thomas is if they want to use Douglas. If they want to use Douglas to trick Hope or get Hope to do whatever Thomas want, or they making him crazy. And look like they making him crazy. Should have known when Lee said on today's episode, she mentioned something to what's her name, Taylor. She mentioned something to Taylor about, you know, Thomas struggling in the past. And then that's when Taylor was like, yeah, he did struggle in the past, but, you know, he's changed, he's grown or whatever. But if he does, you know, black if he does backside, dog, Lord have mercy. If he does backside, I said it again. Look, what the word going on? If he does backside, I don't think I said it right still. What is it, y'all? Backside. I can't even say it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. If he does go back to his old ways, there you go, then she'll be there to support him. And I said, that's kind of the problem. He should have seen not a real therapist, because she is a real therapist, but he should have seen somebody else. I said, the only time they bring this man back is to sit up here and show that he crazy. Well, yeah, hold on. I'm still tripping on the fact that they never held him accountable, unless I'm mistaken. Did they ever hold him accountable for running Emma off the road? Wasn't her name Emma? I think they brought it back up, but then they abandoned the storyline. If I'm not mistaken, they was like, that's not what happened or something like that, y'all. I don't know. Let me go back. Where did I stop? Brooke can't believe Ridge still with Taylor. Taylor talks to Leah about her break and just questioning her about what she doing there, because she's supposed to be on a leave of absence, and she was like she can't stay away and stuff like that. She was starting to talk to her about Luna, if that's the reason why, you know, she stayed away. I said, is Lee trying to make it seem like Luna and Thomas the same or something? Is that why she brought it up? Trying to prep her so when it's revealed that, you know, Luna's still alive, she could be like, Thomas was doing well. I will say Luna went to jail for a split second. Thomas didn't go to jail. Hold up. But at the same time, I don't think Thomas running around trying to murder people either. But I don't know, y'all. I could be mistaken. Aside from Emma, when he ran her, he was chasing her and stuff. That's what it was. He was chasing her or whatever. And I think she swerved or something. I think it was raining and everything else. I think That was the storyline where she was on the way to tell Hope about Beth. Yeah, I think so. And he was trying to stop her. He got out the car. They showed him get out the car after he done chased her down, and he stood right there or whatever, and he didn't call for help. But yeah, what else? Let's see. I already said Taylor was talking to Lee about her break, about it being about Luna. Brooke said the thing's more complicated now that Thomas back in town. Thomas doesn't want Ridge to let Brooke get to him. And I said, I take back what I said yesterday. I was saying how about time somebody held Ridge accountable and stuff like that. But I take all that back. I take it all back. Because he has learned nothing. Steffi still ain't learned nothing. Y'all keep making it seem like Brooke tired. What did Ridge say that day? I can't remember, but he was basically saying, y'all, like she forced me to choose her and stuff. And I was like, it can't get no plainer than that. It can't. He just told you to your face. He chose Rook over to your mama. Over your mama. But they still trying to push them together. Thomas over here talking about, so what he need? I need this bad or whatever. Ridge was like, yeah, he kind of desperate like back in the day or whatever. You not backslide. I said it. I think I said it right. You're not going back to your old ways, are you? And I say, it seems like it, y'all. I said, so they don't just recycle one storyline or two storylines. They recycle 3 or 4. But yeah. What else? Let's see. Thomas doesn't want Reed to let Brooke get to him to, allow her back into his life and stuff like that. Says he needs this more than Reed knows. Taylor offers Lee a listening ear, about the whole Luna situation. Luna test results show negative. And when she was talking to Sheila was saying something about the bear attack was fake or whatever. She was like, fake. She was like, I could do that or whatever. But then when she was talking to herself, she was like, maybe she took the test too early. I was like, is she gonna fake a pregnancy or is she gonna actually be pregnant? Either way go, you still could go to jail. What they gotta solve? I don't know. Like I said, I keep saying, I don't care. They had to, I don't know if they would have her keep the baby or what. Or, make arrangements. But I said she'd have to go to jail. She actually was carrying his child. It just had to be what it's going to be. Shoot. But yeah, Luna had a negative test result as of right now. Katie said that Thomas and Steffi fully grown. Reed don't need to feel guilty about, not choosing Taylor or whatever. I said, exactly. Then Taylor keeps saying how she's so happy. This is the happiest she ever been. I said, well, you about to be disappointed. Like I was saying yesterday, I think they said something about Katie urges Brooke to tell Taylor the truth. I said, somebody got to do it. I was thinking Thomas may do it, but apparently he ain't going to do nothing either. Still encouraging these folks to be together. Your dad ain't worth for doing. Your dad ain't no good. What the world? You don't see that by now talking about what you need. He tripped me out with that on today's episode talking about, I need this. I said, what your parents being together at that age especially got to do with you? Like, I get it in a sense, but at the same time, do be for real. But yeah, then, if that wasn't bad enough, if that was not bad enough, what did he say? What did this fool say? Let me see. He was like, that's the real reason I came back here or whatever. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to make sure that, you don't allow Brooke to wiggle herself back into your life. I said, now, Thomas, the fact that you have to sit up here and watch this grown man, your daddy, to make sure he ain't doing what you already done walked in on him doing, basically. They was just hugging, but at the same time, you ain't got no business with your arms around this lady. Y'all ain't got no reason to be in here hugging. Forget all that extra stuff he be talking about. Keep your hands to yourself. He could have easily pushed her away or whatever, but no. But yeah, to my son, that's the real reason I came back. I'm gonna watch you, make sure you don't break my mama heart again or whatever. You helped her heal her heart and stuff like he ain't helped diddly freaking squat. He was the reason why her heart was broken in the first place. But yeah, somebody said he gonna watch Ridge to make sure he doesn't, hurt his mama or that Brooke doesn't wiggle herself back into his life. Luna finna fake a pregnancy look like. Lee ends up congratulating Taylor because she noticed the engagement ring. Lee mentioned Thomas having problems in the past. That's when I say, are they gonna make him crazy again? Thomas and Paris ended their engagement. Hold on. Thomas and Paris ended their engagement, but I was kind of confused by that because when he gave the explanation, it made it seem like Paris was in on the whole Grace situation. And I was like, how, did she know about it? The way he said it, because he said they ended the engagement or whatever. He just, couldn't get past what they did and stuff like that, with the whole Liam situation. And I was like, you don't even like Liam. I mean, that don't mean that you can't tell right from wrong, but at the same time, you can't tell right from wrong because you urging your daddy and mama to be together, even though he a slime ball. But yeah, let's see. What else? Let's see. It's 2:05. Okay, let's see. What else? Lee mentioned Thomas having a problem. We said that already. Ridge asked Thomas if he's backsliding. Look, I even wrote down backsliding. Look, I can't talk word for darn. I wrote it down like that too. What else? I think that was it, y'all. I think the last thing he ended up hugging him. I said, don't try to hug him. You supposed to be answer his question. You supposed to be answering his question that told him what it was, saying it's complicated or something like that. But he did kind of say something to indicate that he the same old Rich. But you know, they don't never pay attention to that. They just want to Brooke. I mean, I do hold Brooke accountable for a lot of the crap she be doing, but at the same time, if you're not gonna hold Rich accountable, then you might as well not hold her accountable either. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day and be safe.